Good day. My name is David Wyld, and this is part 3 of the presentation on Chapter 6 on Ethics and Social Responsibility from Connect Master Management 2.0. Let's resume talking about the subject of bad barrels, the second cause of unethical decision-making in organizations. One criticism of solely individual considerations when it comes to ethical behavior is that they ignore the power of the organizational environment on people. Simply put, people are influenced by the work setting, particularly issues related to incentives and discipline, organizational culture, and ethical leadership. Let's first talk incentives and discipline. Organizational reward systems may influence employees to act in certain ways by influencing the potential outcomes likely to be achieved given certain behaviors. Employees may engage in unethical behaviors to reach their goals. As the focus on results increases, the likelihood of self-serving decisions that may lead to moral shortcomings also increases. Similarly, ethical conduct is also influenced by a person's awareness of punishments for ethical or unethical conduct. A whistleblower is a person who reports such misconduct by an organization or other employees to the public or a higher authority. Organizational culture. An organization's culture can contribute to an individual's moral development. Those who observe others being rewarded or punished may expect similar outcomes for themselves for similar actions. Conversely, some company cultures may actually encourage unethical behavior to increase profitability and meet organizational goals. Being exposed to information or practices that signal management condones unethical behavior by rewarding unethical behavior or punishing ethical behavior can influence ethical decision-making of other members in the organization. A code of ethics is a formal statement of expected behavior that serves as the rules of conduct in an organization. However, the code of ethics must be more than just a few key words written in a document. Another strategy employed by organizations to underscore their commitment to ethical behavior is creating an ethics structure within the company. Some companies have created the position of Chief Ethics Officer or Chief Compliance Officer, whose major responsibilities include serving as the internal control point for ethics, improprieties, and possible conflicts of interest, while providing corporate leadership and advice on governance and other issues faced by the company. Some companies have established internal ethics committees typically composed of executives and other employees, which are responsible for reviewing ethical issues and handing out possible disciplinary actions based on the committee's findings. In addition, companies have created confidential whistleblower ethics hotlines that employees can use to report questionable behavior on the part of management, colleagues, suppliers, and others. Ethics training is another method that can be used to build an ethical culture with a focus on continuous improvement. Ethics training educates employees on the organization's code of ethics, makes them aware of resources and support staff when they encounter an ethical dilemma, and advises them on ethical perspectives and ethical decision-making. Lastly, an ethics audit or checklist about ethical practices within an organization is useful for monitoring the continuous improvement of an organization's culture. Thirdly, let's talk about ethical leadership, which involves conforming to laws and regulations, being honest, treating others fairly and with respect, and not abusing power to exploit others or to serve a leader's self-interest. This is important for establishing an ethical culture. After a multitude of business scandals at the turn of the century, the U.S. Congress passed the Sarbanes-Oxley Reform Act of 2002, which, among other things, addressed corporate responsibilities for the CEO and CFO, and in that they must certify that financial reports fairly represent the financial condition of the company and are free of misstatements. Managers are responsible for establishing and maintaining the operations of an organization through planning, budgeting, organizing people, monitoring results, and making changes to address issues and solve problems. Leaders are responsible for creating a vision by setting the general direction for the organization and aligning people with their vision and their strategy for achieving the vision through communications that motivate and inspire, taking into consideration the visionary and inspiring characteristics of what a leader is. Ethical leaders create new ethical norms, standards, and principles. Corporate social responsibility. Organizational leaders face many choices in the decisions they make. For example, how to structure their operations, carry out their strategies, and operate in the marketplace. Ethical considerations have grown in considerable importance for organizations as part of their corporate social responsibility, or CSR, strategies. Management's commitment to making business decisions that will contribute to the overall well-being of society. Some of the most common CSR activities focus on corporate philanthropy, environmental and sustainability efforts, and community relations. According to Archie Carroll, for CSR to be accepted and practiced by business people, it must be framed as embracing the entire spectrum of social responsibilities: economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic. As shown in Figure 3, which you see on your screen, Carroll has arranged these responsibilities into a pyramid of corporate social responsibility. Conflicts often arise between economic responsibilities, i.e., maximizing profits of the firm, and the other three components: the legal, ethical, and philanthropic responsibilities to society. However, what is important for a firm that practices CSR is to focus on the full pyramid: making profits, obeying the law, observing ethical standards, and being a good corporate citizen when making organizational decisions. One benefit of engaging in CSR activities is that they can create a positive reputation for the company among both its internal and external stakeholders. These are individuals and other parties, both within and outside the organization, that have a vested interest in the organization's performance and its actions. In the most traditional view of companies and how they do business, the owner or shareholders were the primary focus. Today, stakeholder theory expands that approach and focuses on all the parties impacted by organizational actions, the stakeholders, and suggests that those affected by organizations have a right to participate in directing them. This perspective suggests that the needs of organizational shareholders are not the only parties of concern, but other stakeholders who may be concerned with things beyond profit maximization are also important. As shown in Figure 4, which you see on your screen, there are a variety of stakeholders both inside and outside an organization that want a say in how the firm does business, including how the organization demonstrates its corporate social responsibilities. The internal stakeholders of an organization include owners, managers, and employees. Some of the prominent external stakeholders affected by organizational actions include shareholders, customers, suppliers, local communities, governments, and society as a whole. And with that, we conclude the third part, the three-part lecture series on Chapter 6 on Ethics and Social Responsibility from Connect Master Management 2.0. Good luck in your studies of this, and please contact me if you have any questions. Thank you.